Hello everybody, CJ here, your local friendly technology addict, and this is the Tech Addict's Attic. I know it's been a long time since my last video, but today, hopefully I can make up for it. I've got a cell phone that I've purchased from a provider in China. It goes by the name of Blackview. And this is the BV, that's Bravo Victor, 9500 Pro, or at least it's supposed to be. I've been reading a lot of reviews and I've been looking for a cell phone for quite some time, and I decided to settle on this one based on some of the reviews, and there were one or two that suggested that you might not get what you ordered from this company. So that's why I'm doing the unboxing video the way that I am, and why I say it should be the Pro version. Now, one of the main things that attracted me to this phone was the fact that it has a two-way UHF radio built in. And most people, when they think of a two-way UHF radio, they're thinking of these little doodads that you can purchase from Target or Best Buy, Walmart, Family Radio Service, and General Mobile Radio Service. Which are great for family outings, you know, little camping trips or whatever. But the reason I want it is because of the amateur radio frequencies that it can support. Granted, it's only one band of UHF, the 400 to 470, which as far as the amateur radio band goes, I think it's only 420 to 450. But certainly will suffice. So here it is, the Blackview BV9500 Pro. I don't know if we've got a good view of that or not. There we are. So it is the Pro, and I don't want to expose my IMEI and all that, but let me cover that up. You can see some of the basic specs on it. We're already out of the box. We're going to be running Oreo. It's a 5.7-inch IPS display, full HD, with a 10 ampere-hour battery. That was one of the things that attracted me to it. That 16-megapixel rear-facing camera, 6 GB of RAM, 128 GB of available ROM space, and an 8-core processor. I wouldn't say it's a flagship, but it's some of the newest, best hardware that's ever graced my household. So I want to just gently get into this here. Not too worried about saving the plastic. Okay, so what's in the box? Ain't it pretty? Alright, so first off, first thing I'm going for is this antenna right here. Now, some of the other reviews that I've seen on YouTube and other places on the internet, they ask the question, well, gee, you know, this is 2018, why do you need an antenna for your cell phone? Well, the simple answer is you don't. That's not for the cell phone. It's for the UHF radio on it, the two-way radio. But that you only get with the Pro model. You don't get that with the 9500, because the 9500 doesn't have the two-way built in. This is a micro USB to USB-C adapter. Now, this is supposed to be able to come off because I live in the United States and we don't use these power adapters. I'll play with that later. But you get the charger. Output is 5 volt or 9 volt or 12 volt up to 2 amps. So it's got 3 methods of charging through USB. You get a USB-C cable That is not a micro USB, it's a USB-C. So out of the box, this is worthless to you unless you go to somebody's house that has a micro USB. You get your standard earbuds, which you get that with everything. And I've seen people complain about this. Wow, you need a screwdriver to put your SIM card in or your SD card. Well, you know what? You're getting a ruggedized, waterproof phone, so yeah, you do need a screwdriver for that. Only makes sense. And the phone itself. Wow, that is heavy. But you know what? I like a heavy phone. I'm the kind of person, I do hand gestures, right? And if I do a hand gesture and the phone flies out of my hand, clear across the room, well, that actually happened with my Galaxy Note 4 when I bought it brand new. I was none too pleased about that. You also get the, well, that's not a manual, that is intercom instructions. I'll read that later. And we also have the actual manual. And unlike my LG manual, this one actually, let me show you something here. This has a certain sheen to the paper. Okay, this is very nicely printed. And this print quality is very nice. This is not a photocopy. My LG manual, supposedly from LG themselves, was on non-glossy paper, and it looked like it was a photocopy of a photocopy of a photocopy. It had a completely different feel, a completely different look. You can tell that this is genuine article. I'm not convinced that my LG was, but the LG, which is what I'm using to record this video, is going to be replaced with this phone that I just popped out of the box here. And speaking of the box, nope, that does not come out. So there is nothing beneath it. So I'm going to move all of this stuff out of the side. I'm going to pause my recording here, and we're going to see what's going on with this baby. It is heavy, isn't it?
And look at, like...
And it's massive. It's huge. You like it?
Well, I do like them big and black.
Okay, so my wife did not know that I had pressed the unpause button. But yes, this is a heavy phone. Now, if you're going to complain about a heavy phone, if you think a phone should be about as heavy as a number 10 envelope, then this is not the device for you. Frankly, I can lift the weight of my wrist without help, so I have pretty good muscles there. So this thing is not a problem for me. Oh, hello! It's turned itself on. I don't remember pressing a power button. That kind of no. No. Okay, so I'm going to, hey, cool. And fully charged, 97%. Look at that. I wonder how long it'll take me to kill that 10 amp battery. So I'm going to pause this again and turn off this Cortana-esque nonsense here and get right back to you. So I have peeled off the mask because it says to do that, right? I haven't even read the instructions yet. Gee, I wonder if I can figure this thing out. But right off the bat, I already have a problem with it. Right here. And it's a little thing because you can see here if this LG would ever... This LG is as bad as a Samsung, let me tell you. It never focuses on anything. But you can see here, this is a screen protector that's on here, and they've got an air bubble in it. That's not a big deal. But that's what this is here. This is just an air bubble and a screen protector. I would like to get rid of that, but... Oh, and there's another one up here. It's almost like there was a speck of dust on the screen when they installed it. There's another one down here. So, another one here, another one here. They could do a better job of that. But it's a ruggedized phone. It shouldn't need a screen protector, right? Because it's got like Corning Gorilla Glass 47,000, right? So, I didn't want to expose all of that, but whatever. It doesn't identify me in any way. We have, on the back, we have waterproofing, dustproofing, we have shockproofing, we have a big battery, and we have near-field communication and two-way radio. One of the two. I think that's two-way radio there. Near-field communication and wireless charging, we already knew about all of that. It's on the website. It's some of the reasons I bought this phone. Just because I am that kind of a person. I want to go ahead and take this cover off, if I can get the screwdriver to fit in there. There are two Phillips heads. It looks like a 000 and a 00, and then a flathead. And the flathead does fit, but it is a very tight fit. So you've got to be, if you don't want to scratch your screw head, you got to be careful with how you fit it in there. They have a snug feel to them. I'm not a fan of using this particular screwdriver. I would much rather just get some micro tools and use them, because this just doesn't fit the hand very well, but that's okay. You know, it gets the job done, and you're not going to be getting into this very frequently. So let me go ahead and just pull these out. Just make sure that they are. Are they captive screws? Because they're definitely not threaded. Oh, there we are. That one's out. Come on. Already trying to lose it. That one's out. And as you can see, it's kind of difficult to hold on to the thing. But again, it's not something you're going to need to do very frequently. See if I can get this open, because I'm going to have to get this open before I can put... No, I don't want to use that. Let me go get some better tools. Alright, let's see if this works any better. My wife is over here about to spaz out because I just bought this thing. It's on again. Look at that. So this is obviously the power button, and it's very easy to hit that. Hey. But now she was about to freak out because I'm sitting here prying this thing open, but you know, you got to do that to be able to put your SIM cards or your TF card in there, micro SD card. Now, I do see that this has an open and a lock marking on each of the three holders, and I would love to be able to focus on them so you can see open is one way and lock is the other. So I don't think that lifts up. I think it slides. I'm going to have to read the directions on that because I don't want to break a phone I just bought, right? But one of the reasons that you're going to need a screwdriver for this is because of the waterproofing and the dustproofing. You see that yellow seal there matches this ridge on the inside of the door. So you're going to need to make sure that everything on that stays.
Continue touching the screen until you hear a beep to enable accessibility.
Yeah. Power off. That's why I prefer a phone with a removable battery. I can pop that thing out and not have to worry about it turning itself back on. I'm not going to put the screws back in just yet. I'm going to put them up here, though, so that I don't lose them. Alright, now, I'm going to go ahead and read the directions real quick, make sure that I know where the power button is, and then I'm going to turn it on. Okay, so let's turn this baby on and see what we can do with her. We will skip that. Actually, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and connect. Worst they can do is update and let me never use it again, right? Ooh, I already like the keyboard. Mainly, come on, because you can see it's got all 3 rows of letters plus the numbers on the top. Most of them don't have the numbers on top, and I can probably change that setting on my old LG, but it's just one of those things I never got around to doing. Now we're obtaining an IP address. I would really prefer it not check for updates all the time, or anytime, like ever. If it works fine now, I don't want an update to, you know, break it. It's one of the reasons I do custom ROMs on phones. I like to be able to stop it from doing anything. Yeah, skip it. I told you to skip. Now skip it. I don't want to add my name. Oops. Oh, apparently I accidentally touched something over here. Okay, I don't want the digital intercom yet. I don't know how to use that yet. I don't want to play with that yet. I'm going to skip the fingerprint. For now, I'm going to skip protecting my phone. I know what I'm doing. Turn off location. We'll worry about that later. We don't want to send system data. We do not want to install apps. You can't turn that off. Have no choice but to agree. No thanks. I like that wallpaper. Okay. Already, there are things I don't like. But hey, it's a new phone. Of course there's going to be things I don't like. First off, I see that location is turned on. I absolutely do not want location turned on. Google Play is downloading an update already. Okay, let me turn off my Wi-Fi too, because clearly that's just going to annoy. Digital intercom 1, transmit 401, receive 401. I don't want to mess with that yet. It won't let me swipe that away. I don't want NFC turned on yet. I actually don't want anything turned on yet. I want to turn it all on when I'm ready for it. Okay, so now we can edit things. I don't even see NFC in this menu, so can I not turn that off? Very peculiar. On the other phones, I'm able to turn that off. I don't like that. Okay, I'll just have to go straight in here. Turn off NFC. It would be nice to have a little shortcut. Maybe that's a custom ROM thing. Let's go back home. Swipe up to get to the apps. I've never been a fan of that interface. FM radio. Music. SOS. toolbox. YouTube is on here. Play Store is on here. Play Music, Play Movies. I'm not going to use most of those, but I don't need a music app because I don't use my phone for listening to music. But for the most part, there's not a whole bunch of crap on here. I do see Drive. I use Drive. I would install Drive anyway. I prefer it not to be on the phone when I get it. Duo is basically the new version of Hangouts, so you can do video messaging with people. Video calling, excuse me. So I'd probably not have Duo on here, but it may come in handy. I don't know what that is. Cell broadcast? No active alerts. Okay, so... Alright, well let's go into this intercom app. And I'm going to see if I can change any of this. Okay, so we do have channels here. And by the way, the instruction manual was pretty bland, I guess, for want of a better word. It didn't really have any information in it other than the basics. Here's how you get into this app. Here's how you get into other stuff. Now, before I go too far, I'm going to go ahead and pry the... Come on. Plug open. If I can... There we go. Get it there. I'm going to go ahead and install the antenna. It is tight. Well, snug at least. Alright. And I have here on my laptop a frequency list. Okay, I'll set this right down here. If I can find out where my cursor is. There we are. And scroll. Adjust our light so we can see what we're doing. Oh, my phone went to sleep. How convenient. Alright, digital channel 1, 2. Let me see here. 408. We want to go to 462. How many channels have I got? Wow. Oh, there we are. We will call this FRS 8. So you can add your own channel ID. I assume that that's arbitrary. I assume that that's just for this phone's storage slot. You know, like a preset on your FM radio in your car. I don't think I want digital. I want to try analog. Ooh, you get narrowband, low power. Send frequency. It should be frequency. But we're going to go... This is, did I say channel 8? Yep, FRS 8. We're going to go 467.5625. Why does it not let me put a decimal in there? Maybe because I'm narrowband? Do I need to be wideband? Nope, that decimal just simply doesn't go in there. Nor do any of the others. Oh, maybe it is a digital. Try that. Nope. Let me see if I can't figure this one out. So, figured it out. Unfortunately, I don't want to record. I want to edit. No, I want to edit this channel. Okay, there we are. We will edit. Squelch level. I want to set that to 1. When you have your squelch level set to 0, it's basically saying, you know what, do not hide the background noise. And I love that. As a ham radio operator and a shortwave listener, I prefer to be able to hear the background noise because that's when you hear the weaker stations. Perhaps people who are just a little bit out of range, for instance. Let's see, that's not the one, this is the one. But I'm going to use an FRS radio on FRS frequency, or channel 8, which is what this one should be. Test 1, 2. So it seems to work. At least receiving. Let's check the transmit. PTT is over on this side. Test 1, 2. So we've already got some acoustic feedback, which I expected. We got the echo on it. So that tells me that this is working. The transmitter and receiver on this both work. Alright, I've just passed the radio over to the wife. I'm going to try this again. Hopefully we don't get any background noise or acoustic feedback. I just need to know if you hear me clearly or if there's an echo. Test 1, 2. So we didn't hear the word test, but we heard the 1, 2. So there's apparently a brief moment where you have to let the transmitter get the signal to the receiver. The receiver has to pick it up. Receiver has to know to start making that signal audible. Test 1, 2. So I can hear it a lot better now. So that's good. And that's on 467-562-500. Now, what I figured out about this is when you edit the channel and you're putting the frequency in here, this is the trick. You're not putting in megahertz. You're putting in straight in hertz.